Call this special meeting of the Montgomery County Board of County Commissioners to order. And tonight, this is a special meeting, so we're prohibited from discussing any other items other than what's listed on our agenda tonight, which also addresses the inequality of salaries from the last meeting. And so we'll move on. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, are you moving for the,
Approve the agenda. And then
we don't even have to do that since we got that.
okay. Well, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion. And the motion is to adopt the fiscal year 2021 budget ordinance and fee schedule as presented on the September 15th, 2020 agenda with a county tax rate of 61.5 cents per $100 assessed valuation, Maiden Lake Fire District tax rate of 5.5 cents per $100 assessed valuation, Lake Tillery District Fire District tax rate of 4 cents per $100 assessed valuation, and Wayville Fire District tax rate of 1 cent per $100 assessed valuation. Included in this budget are recruitment retention funds to equitably distribute pay increases of $6,250 for law enforcement, detention officers, and nurses effective the start of the first pay period after October 1st, 2020, necessitated due to immediate labor shortages. Included also in the budget are funds to offer the same increases to all employees based on years of service. Employees serving full-time continuously since 2012-2013 will receive the same increase effective the first pay period after October 1st, 2020. All other employees will receive salary adjustments at prescribed benchmarks, culminating with their 8th year of employment.
Thank you, Commissioner Matheny. Do I have a second?
Madam Chairman, I second.
Second by Commissioner Mack. Commissioners, do you have any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to discuss that part there included also in the budget. Now, are these raises that these other employees are getting based on their years of service? Is that if someone would kind of tell me what who all that's including or whatever? I looked at it, but as we talked before, I just have some reservations about that part of it, and if anybody's got any clarity that can.
Would you like HR to
Whoever HR.
review that with you? Ms. Jones, can you answer his question?
I know there's been some rumors going around that some of the employees were going to get cut on some of their pay that I thought they were going to get, I guess, on these hotspot issues. So I guess that's one of my questions.
So again, working with the 2-cent tax, what could we do with that money? And so there were some changes proposed. And we tried to include all the employees to be eligible for the $62.50 eventually. In order to include all the employees within the parameter of the 2-cent tax, we stepped them out. So everyone would get the original $1,000 that was in the revenue neutral budget. Employees that served less than 2 years would then wait till fiscal year 23 to get 1/3, fiscal year 25 to get 1/3, fiscal year 27 to get 1/3. So in essence, they would have their years of service to get the $52.50. Employees that have more than 8 years with the county would receive their $1,000 plus the $52.50, the first pay in October, which is the pay period starts October 4th. The directors from 911 and social services and the water treatment plant also created step programs for their employees. So all of the 911 operators would not receive the $6,250 all at once, nor would social workers or water treatment plant operators. Water treatment plant operators would be receiving it based on their certifications, as we discussed during one of the meetings. Social workers would be receiving the $1,000 if they're less than 2 years of employment. They'd get their $1,000 now. So those that started on a step plan, because that director has already instituted a step plan. Let me take 3 steps back. Last year, social worker positions were funded at $39,000. We recruit a lot of social workers that aren't certified. A lot of the counties won't take them unless they've gone through pre-service and have some experience. Our director will take them fresh out of school at the fiscal year 19 salary of $36,875. When they complete pre-service, they would have gone to $39,000. And so she's already working on a step plan. All of her current social workers, with the exception of one, have less than 2 years. So they would go from $36,875 to $37,875 with that first pay in October. As soon as they complete pre-service, they would go to $40,000, and then as the fiscal years rolled, they would get $1,750 3 different times to get them up to the $6,250.
Well, now, with the way you've got it drawn out, will we use all the money that's coming in for that 2 cent this year?
Yes, sir. And then next year, with the step plan, we're going to have about a $200,000 shortfall on this plan.
I guess that's why I have a problem with it, because you're already using all the money. The way we had it, or the motion that was made last meeting, we do have some left for the next year. I
No,
mean,
we
it's
didn't.
gonna be 8
That
more.
was using all the money.
Huh?
That was using all the money.
That was using all the money.
That was using all
But
of
it
it
was
the
going
last
to
time.
the select groups and not anybody else.
The $1,000,
They were getting $1,000.
the $1,000, and then the
Plus
hot spots getting the
select hot spot.
62.
That took all that money last time. And
I
so
thought
to
Jim drew
distribute
it up
that
and it
money
was-
out this time is why we changed to this pay plan.
I thought when Jim figured it last time, it was $400 and some thousand, that, because he was telling me that, you know, in the I guess the pre-budget that we had, 59.5 cents, that $1,000 was already covered at 59.5 cents. So if you add 2 more cents, you're getting what, 800,000?
Works up to
688.
And so you mean to tell me
680,000.
that those hot spots and giving everybody $1,000 was taking all that money?
Well,
We believe it would, yes.
to be clear,
Well,
the baseline budget at revenue neutral includes a pay raise of $1,000 or 2%, whichever is greater
Correct.
for all employees.
correct.
In addition, we allocated $688,000, which is the projected revenue from 2 cents of ad valorem tax increase.
Right.
In the last meeting, the plan that was proposed was to give all of the 5, I think there are 5 work groups, right? An immediate raise of an additional $5,250,
Right.
which would have consumed all of the 2 cents worth of tax.
Hmm.
So the change that has been proposed in this motion would provide more money by delaying the the pay increases until the 1st of October instead of retroactive to the 1st of July. So this proposal as presented here, yes, there are people who would have been covered by the proposal from the last meeting who will not be covered immediately by this proposal. Their pay will be delayed. But it allows for all employees to receive, I think, an equitable raise, like indicated all employees who have, over 8 years of service will get the full $62.50. That's all county employees. And the others will step up to it.
So next year is going to mean another tax increase.
You know, next year, the
Maybe
funds don't carry over, so whatever is appropriated this year doesn't carry over till next year. So next year, the budget will have to be balanced again to include those raises, as Renee indicated, as I understand it, that the,
Yeah, I realize.
currently it would require $200,000 more revenue. Hopefully that can be achieved with growth and not an additional tax increase.
Does that answer your question, Commissioner Crisco?
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel any better, though.
No, I agree that it's unfortunate that it turned out that way, but again, I think the proposal is fair to all employees throughout the county because there are many, I think all of our employees do a tremendous job. Many of them are challenged in the circumstances under which they work, and I think we've taken a significant step here forward as far as addressing what is overall less compensation than some of the surrounding counties have.
How many hot spots were we addressing?
Started with 6, cut it to 3.
Started with 6 hot spots and cut it to 3?
Mm-hmm.
There's more deputies than that, aren't there?
I was talking about departments.
I'm talking about total employees.
Okay.
Do you know how many total employees we were actually talking about?
98.
98.
There was 5. The detention officers actually were not identified as a hot spot originally, but it was 6 departments altogether then. They were added, the deputies, or the detention officers were added, Commissioner Henson.
I think in total, there's 216 positions in the budget. Of the 216, Mr. Manager, do you know how many will not receive the $62.50 immediately?
No, I don't know right off the top of my head. I can go count them up, but I believe that 68 of the 98, something like that, would get it immediately.
Yes, sir.
And so there would be 30 that would get it over time.
But in addition to the 98, it's actually 92. In addition to the other 127 or 26, many of them will also get $62.50, right?
Yes, I think that the number actually increases from 98 to around 111 that would get it. So actually more people are going to get it now than would have gotten it. By making it effective the first pay period in October, that allows you to do it within the confines of 61.5-cent budget. But as mentioned, it will create a bubble next fiscal year.
Thank you.
Hey, Renee.
Yes.
How many social workers do we have?
We have 16 positions. Right now, we have 9.
So,
No, that's wrong. We have 9 that have less than 2 years of service. Actually, they all have less than 1 year of service right now.
so how many social workers work for the county right now?
Stephanie? Thank you.
And out of all 14 of those social workers, all but 1 have less than 2 years of experience?
Yes.
So it seems to me that the retention is an issue with social workers.
As always has been.
Yeah. So if our designation of social workers as a hotspot was to provide them with some extra money to keep some of that turnover from happening, because it looks like we're just training these social workers to leave. you know, what problem will this fix if they're not gonna be included in that step raise for another, and they still have to pull time here? All but one has less than 2 years of experience. I don't understand how the proposed plan resolves the issue for retention with social workers in the county, as was our slated goal in the beginning.
I'll be glad to answer that for me. Our starting salary was already the same as surrounding county. We did not have a step plan to equal their step plan, and now you will have a step plan to equal their step plan. So it would in fact meet the goal that you.
Okay. So the starting salary was the same, we just couldn't keep them because once they stayed, they wouldn't receive any more money.
That's correct. It needed a step plan. That's why, as you just mentioned, there was 39,000 available, but they were able to hire people at a much less salary. With the plan that's in place, you're also allowing them, if they can recruit a seasoned employee that does not have to be trained, then based on those transferable years of service, they can pay them that higher rate to be on par with surrounding county.
And their offer letter would actually state that if they are still employed as a social worker at these benchmarks, that they would get the additional money. So they'd be working towards something all the time, rather than waiting for a new budget to come out and you may or may not get anything. They would always be working towards something.
And this identified the steps that we discussed earlier, where employees wouldn't come in and just remain. At the end of 4 years, someone come in 1 year and it was the same. So
Right.
this addresses that.
Yes, sir, it does.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion that's been made and seconded. Ready to vote?
Ready?
Okay. Pleasure of the board. How do you vote? Everybody in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carried, and all in favor. Misty, you got that? Okay. So there's no other business to bring before us tonight, and we do not have a public forum tonight because we had that at our last meeting, so this is all we have tonight, so motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned, excuse me.